Hi guys, welcome to the first video here in the channel wherein I'll be talking. So in today's video, I'll be discussing the things that I have learned and problems that I have encountered in the duration of my server administration course. So please take note that this video will only be a summary of my learnings because I have created a playlist on this channel where I showed how I progressed on the different activities given by my server administration course. So with all those cleared up, let's start. So this will be the topic outline. So this was all the lessons or activities that was taught to us in the duration of the course. So first and foremost, we started with setting up the lab environment. So given that we are practicing remote learning due to the pandemic, some, including me, had issues at first with the activity due to varying reasons such as hardware and connection constraints. However, I was able to successfully set up my environment, which is the VirtualBox from Oracle. Um, the VirtualBox from Oracle. So in this VirtualBox, an individual may spin up a contained operating system, which is very interesting and useful. So the second thing that we did was to install Windows Server 2016. So it was the operating system that we have mainly used in the duration of the course. So the Windows Server 2016 was installed on a machine instance of our VirtualBox. So that may sound confusing for those who are not familiar with the terms, for it is very technical, but you can see how I did it or what it is on a video on my playlist, so be sure to check that one out. So getting back on the topic at hand, I was very fascinated with the idea of being able to try out other operating systems on top of my current running OS. So the installation of the Windows 10 server surely did introduce me to that possibility. Now, what we did next was to configure Windows Server 2016. So configuring Windows 2016 server was not really that hard for me, for I did not encounter any issues in this activity. So I believe some of my peers had problem with this activity though, because it requires your machine to enable virtualization, which is unfamiliar to some, but not for me, given that I have used my machine's virtualization capability before on mobile app development. So the activity itself taught us the essentials on the operating system that we have used on the entirety of the course. So I'm talking about Windows Server. So this activity helped us understood Windows Server and how to use it. And the next thing that we did was the installation of Windows 10. So it is very, what you call it, really not that complicated, because coming from a technical background, though I had issues with the version of the Windows 2010 that I have installed, but it was still manageable and could still have the job done, or the activity done in this case. And the next thing we did was to joining the Windows 10 to the domain. So joining Windows 10 to the domain was a challenging activity for me. It literally took me some time personally to figure out, even though there are guide videos. But I was still able to finish it with the help of many Google searches. Then after successfully joining Windows 10 on the domain, we installed RSAT on the Windows 10. So RSAT stands for Remote Server Administration Tools, which enable this is a tool that enables us to access server tools on a bare Windows 10 operating system. So the next activity was a DHCP scope and reservation activity. So for me, this was the most interesting topic because I was able to learn how to restrict IP addresses or list IP addresses on selected or specific machines in the domain. It was very fun and interesting because it gives you full control of the IP structure of the net, full control of the IP structure of the network. And the last topic that I was able to complete was the creation of DNS host alias records and the utilization of the group policy management console and the operation that comes with it. So this was also a somewhat hard activity, I guess, because um, it it takes some technical skills in order to perform. You really need to have good troubleshooting skills with this. And there's also an activity that I was not able to finish, and it was the backup and restore activity. So, due to constraints in my hardware and my groupmates' hardware, we were not able to perform the activity, but theory wise, we know how to do it. So, that would be all for the video, and I hope you'll have a nice day. Thanks.